Good afternoon, good morning. I think it's just that. Good afternoon, good morning to everyone on this call. It's been a real pleasure to listen to the previous speakers and to have this opportunity for us to collectively share elements of our history, the connections between us across the seas, and to be exposed to some of the lesser known facts about the relationships between our different peoples. I'm also particularly excited to have listened to speakers make mention of the parade yesterday, the cultural parade. Dr. Blyden, I had no idea that in the early 1800s, a very similar event took place with all the different tribes led by the mayor. I shared this with some councillors who I met today, and they were saying, oh, wow, did you know about this? I said, nope, I didn't. But it really, I think it speaks to the spirit of our city, and the reference to the opening, the challenges that the city faces today in modern times, in respect of ordinances and land laws, is also sort of quite refreshing to appreciate that what we're doing here in Freetown is really being shared and followed and assimilated by those who have this common connection with us as a city. We were celebrating 230 years, and we're doing it for so many reasons. Like I said on our opening day, it's our birthday. And although historically there is a debate about whether we should be celebrating 1787 or 1792. What matters is that we have a date that we can use as a central point, as a convening point for all of us to look at what pulls us together, and what we can build on to draw us closer together for our mutual benefit. These histories from the Buns Island, the Gullah community, and Victoria, it's so nice to see you. You know, I remember well my time in Charleston and on the island. The histories from Nova Scotia, the histories from the Seminole people that I hadn't heard about before. They're fascinating because your future is so informed by your past. But here in Freetown, and across the seas with yourselves, I'd like us to think for a moment about how what our past is informs us, but also how our present determination will define us going forward. In our bid to transform Freetown, it's not just about, well, it's certainly about our 4 clusters, 11 priority sectors, and 19 targets. For those who don't know, that's how our development plan for the city was set out under my administration. And yesterday evening, this is a bit of an aside, yesterday evening, we shared another part of our culture. We had a soca, there was a soca event with dancers from Barbados, the Caribbean, and in giving the opening remarks, I mentioned this sort of somewhat technical piece about our targets as a city. And my cousin was like, no, you're not going. Then I was like, absolutely, yes, because the transformation of our city is so central to all that we do. But so coming back to this now, within that concept, within this drive to transform Freetown and to improve the potential, and to ensure that everyone is able to better fulfill their individual potentials, we see so much we see a real great need for this cultural history, for this culture and history to be understood, to be highlighted, to be amplified, to be celebrated, because it gives us a sense of where we're from. It also, as was demonstrated yesterday, gives us an opportunity to build social cohesion, to have something that we do collectively as people from different ethnic groups, different histories, you know, but connected histories, for us to see that we can work together and celebrate our future. And of course, it also gives economic potential, because the building of the bridges between us here in the home, on the home continent, and you, many of you in other parts of the world who are either diaspora there or long-term diaspora, as in those who have been there since the time of our ancestors' enslavement. However we look at it, this connection means that we are creating more platforms and opportunities for us to work together and to have you physically be part of this. Yesterday's parade, I think, was perhaps, and we'll have to see what happens in the next few days, but it was definitely the most exciting thing I've experienced in decades in Sierra Leone. And it was so simple. And all that it really did was celebrate culture. So we can see the potential for unlocking growth, unlocking a unity, unlocking a sense of togetherness that culture brings. The celebrations will continue this evening with a vigil where we will continue to highlight and amplify the history. There'll be letters, I know, that we'll be reading from folks across the ocean. And then on Friday, we'll have an interfaith service, really celebrating our diversity again, our tolerance as a city. On Saturday, we'll have street parties and an open air concert, and we will end with a procession leading to the famous cotton tree on Sunday morning. In closing, we are here in Freetown celebrating our diversity, our history. The procession will have the names, banners with the names of the 15 ships that carried formerly enslaved people to Freetown. And as we do this celebration, and as we walked yesterday with all of the 17 ethnic groups, we continue to appreciate our diversity and yet our unity. There was even a little conversation about which ethnic group should walk first. And then I remembered Melbourne's talk that before the Temne people came and called the Freetown area Romarong, the Limba people had been here. So I said, okay, we'll get the Limbas to start because they came first, then the Timnis, and then the Creoles who bought the land from the Limbas and the Timnis. And there was just no disagreement over that. And it was just all done so cordially. In the end, the Timnis ended up in the back, but that was just because we couldn't get ourselves organized enough. But the laughter, the joking, the music, the dance, the sense of peace and unity that we experienced yesterday and have done in the last 3 days of the celebrations and expect to follow through is one that we're so excited about and want to continue to share with you. So we see this as the beginning of strengthening these ties, the beginning of having a celebration which not only looks at what we have here in terms of our unity, our diversity, but our links, but what we have with you who are in other parts of the world. So next year's celebration, or maybe it's not going to be next year, maybe in 5 years' time or 3 years' time, and we'll be planning something, and it doesn't have to wait for the 11th of March. We'll be planning something that brings us together more. I'd like to wish us all in advance a very happy 230 years anniversary. You're Freetonians from your history. You may have come from here, you may have come back here. There may be 400 years between when you came and when you left, but we welcome you as part of our community, and we're thrilled to be having this conversation. Long may it continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. The assignment you gave a lot of us in the community was to make sure everybody is connected. And this symposium is about connecting every possible link in the diaspora. That homework was done to the point where we're now transitioning from what happened in the Americas to what happened in Canada. But just before we go there, Dr. Emery Campbell from the Bulugichi community wants to take 2 minutes to let you hear the dying request of that community.
Good morning, Madam Mayor.
Good morning.
You may have to lift your screen up for us to see your face, sir.
I don't believe I can do that. I wish I could. Don't
Oh,
know how
well,
to-
maybe you can drop down a bit more and we will see your face.
And oh my goodness.
Yes, just
And
lean forward and like you're talking to us, and that does it. Perfect.
And good. I've got a big ask of you. I want to congratulate you, Madam Mayor, and the people of Freetown on your anniversary or your birthday. And we think there's something missing here in America that connects us with you, and that is a piece of your country. We have visited you, over the years. We have made that connection. You've had resistance there that you overcame. We've had resistance here to enslavement that we overcame. And there's a place here that you visited when you were here called Mitchellville, one of the first freedmen effort in America. We came out of slavery in 1863, but just before that, we settled on a place called Mitchellville, and we want a piece of Sierra Leone to represent that connection, as well as that mental connection, as well as the freedom, the connection of resistance. And if we could get a piece of Sierra Leone placed at that village, many people from all over the world who visit Hilton Head Island will know about Sierra Leone. More importantly, would know about Sierra Leone, and would know about the connection between us and Sierra Leone, and know also that both of us struggled for freedom and we were victorious. And so our group here at Hilton Head Island and the Gullah community would love to have a piece of your rock to tell the world that there's a place from whence we came that we emulate and we honor, and that they should also visit you. So we're making that formal request to you subsequent to our talk here this morning, and I hope that you will reciprocate. But congratulations.
Thank you. And we're honored by the request. Melbourne is currently in Freetown. And so I think I will engage him on this so that we see how we can practically respond and make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You look great, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Very good, Dr. Campbell. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. We know you were able to find this time in your busy schedule for us. It's appreciated. We'll go over to the Canadians who've done an interesting thing this last year, recognizing for the first time in Canada last year about the slavery as history of Canada, and that opened the doors for a lot of the quiet history of the Black Canadians, the African Canadians, the early African Canadians, and the Atlantic Canadians, for their stories now to have a platform